We're gonna start this project with large brush and light pink paint. We're gonna dip our brush in water, then in paint, and we'll cover the whole paper or canvas. To paint a tree, we're gonna use medium-sized brush and brown paint. We're gonna create an outline of the tree and then we're gonna paint it in. Next, we'll paint a smaller branch using brown paint and medium-sized brush. After cleaning your medium-sized brush, you can use it to paint Koala. We're gonna use light gray paint to create a circle next to the tree. Then we're gonna paint it in. Now we'll paint the rest of the koala's body. We're gonna create outline first and then we'll paint it in. To paint ears, you're gonna create 2 half circles on both sides of the head. To paint Koala's arm, we're gonna create a straight line on the other side of the tree and then we'll create an arch connecting both sides and then we'll paint it in. We're gonna switch to a smaller brush to paint the other arm and to paint Koala's hand. We'll paint 4 straight lines and then a 5th one on top. Now we'll paint couple fingers on the other side. Now we'll paint Koala's hip overlapping the tree and then we'll paint Koala's feet. We'll start with an oval next to the hip and then we'll paint 5 fingers. Using medium-sized brush and white paint, you can paint inside of the both ears. Next, you'll use white paint to create 2 brush strokes and 1 arch where we'll have nose later. With the small brush and white paint, you can create highlights under Koala's face, under Koala's arms, hips, back and ears. You can also add highlights to fingers, feet and toes. Next, we'll use dark gray paint and small brush to outline some parts of Koala's body. We'll be adding brush strokes on top of the ears, under the head, under the arm, between fingers and toes. After wiping your brush, you can use white paint to create 2 circles on both sides of the face. After wiping your brush, you can use red paint to create a circle on top of Koala's head and then create outline for 5 petals. Now you can paint in each petal. You're gonna use the same brush and same paint to create another flower on a smaller branch. With red paint, we'll create a couple more smaller flowers with just 3 brush strokes. After washing and wiping your brush, you can dip it in pink paint to create another flower next to the red flower on a branch. This time petals will be almond shape. We'll create an outline first and then we'll paint those petals in. We'll continue using pink paint to add a couple smaller flowers next to our big red flowers. After cleaning your brush, you can dip it in yellow paint to create another flower on top of Koala's head. We'll use yellow paint to paint in the middle of pink flower on a branch and the middle of red flower on Koala. Now we can add another yellow flower by creating an arch and then creating 3 petals and painting it in. We'll be adding 3 yellow dots closer to the corner of our artwork. Then we'll create 3 dots closer to flowers that Koala is wearing and then 3 dots next to the flowers on a branch. Now we'll use blue paint to add another type of flower. This time we'll be adding a bunch of dots in a triangle shape. After wiping your brush, you can dip it in red paint and add petals to those yellow dots we painted earlier. We'll use pink paint to paint in the middle of red flower and yellow flower. We'll use purple paint to add a couple smaller flowers in the upper corner of the artwork. Next, we'll use dark green paint to create stems and leaves for some of the flowers. You can switch to a lighter shade of green to add more stems and leaves. You can add more leaves using same shade of green. Now we'll be using the lightest shade of green to add more stems and leaves. After cleaning your brush, you'll use black paint to outline Koala's nose and then you'll paint it in. Now you can paint 2 black circles for Koala's eyes. After washing and wiping your brush, you can use white paint to add dots on the eyes and then a highlight on the nose. Using white paint, you can add highlights to yellow and pink flower petals. We'll switch to pink paint to add highlights to red flower petals. We'll be using red to add dots in the middle of yellow flower. We'll use purple to add dots in the middle of red flower and then we'll do the same thing for the pink flower. After wiping your brush, you can use yellow paint to add dots to the other red flower. Our final step will be to choose any color you like to sign your name in the corner. Don't forget to like and subscribe.